Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you all are doing well, inshallah. My name is Sana Fatima Abbas. For those of you who don't know me, I am a Toronto raised, but currently I'm based in Birmingham, United Kingdom, and I am a professional henna artist who has been doing henna for a very long time, but professionally I've started last year. And I have been teaching kids all across the world henna at the Henna Gateway Academy. So you guys can find my Instagram page at the Henna Gateway or on Facebook as well. So I teach children how to do henna, and today I am partnering with HIC Orlando. I'm really excited to be doing this with you guys virtually, and I have two aims for this session. So my first aim is that I want to be able to teach you guys 2 simple henna designs for Eid. So we're going to start with one, see how that goes, and if we have time, we'll do another one as well. But my second aim is also to share with you guys the healing properties of henna. So henna has been in our culture since we've been young, but it goes further than just being an art or just being done on wedding festivities or being done on Eid. It's also something that is very healing when you can put your whole entire expressions into it. So it's just like any other art, and I'm sure that you guys will learn to love it, to do it as well, not just to have it done. And I hope I can make this easier for you guys today in a step-by-step tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You guys can go ahead and get your hand traced out. So get a blank paper, take your hand and just trace it with a pen. Keep the pen straight, holding completely vertically so that it will be nice and your hand will be traced perfectly. So we can go ahead and get started. And I hope if any point I'm going too fast or you want me to go over something, do write it in the YouTube chat. I am keeping track of that, but I will get to your questions as well whenever I can. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get my other video spotlighted here so we can go ahead and get started. So grab a tissue, because with henna is quite messy, so we want to always have a tissue on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys first how to do a very simple flower that is going to be the base of our design right here. So we're going to take our henna cone. And I know that some of you might be using the ones from the store, which might be a bit harder to work with, but just try your best. And if you can't, just get a pen out or a thin tip Sharpie, and you can follow along. So we're going to do one circle. Now, there is a bit of a trick to doing good circles. And the first thing is by slightly tracing it, but then also making sure your henna cone is touching a little bit above. So it's not completely dragging. It's sort of on top of the paper. So you sort of touch it and then you lift it slightly into a nice circle, and you want to go slow, especially if you're a complete beginner, until you get a perfect circle, or at least try. Even I still have my days when my circles aren't perfect, so don't judge yourself. This is your first time maybe, so you'll get practice. So we have done one circle here, and now we're going to do a swirl. We're just going to pull it inwards. So we're doing smaller circles, and then we're going to end with a little line like that. You can even go ahead and in here add a little dot. And I know I'm going to be going slightly faster for some of you, but feel free to watch this again, and then you guys can do it all over again. So then what we're going to do is we're going to be doing scallops. Now, scallops are those little bumps that you can see in a lot of flowers, but I know some of you will struggle to get them even. So my trick over here is first having a rough idea. So you can go ahead and very lightly create dotted line like that. You can even create straight lines to help you. I'm not going to do that because for me, for some reason, I mess up more with that. So just feel free to freehand it. The dots are just there to give you a guideline that you should not go above and beyond that line right there. So we're just going to go all the way around, and I always find that it's easier for me to stop and start somewhere else. So I never go in one circular motion. I always like to switch it up. Complete your circle, and you can keep switching sides. Make sure your hand is just comfortable, because if your hand is comfortable, your henna design will be neater. So you can take a break. Don't feel that you have to go super fast. We're just starting out here. And this is such an essential part of henna. Like if you know how to do this, you can do so many designs, because I feel like this is in every single thing I've come across. I've never seen a design that has no scallops in it. If not in the flower, it'll at least have it somewhere else. So just take your time with this one. And I am going to create this design quite simply. I don't want to, force you guys into doing very intricate ones right away. We're trying to make it easy so that everyone, even kids, can do this. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to give like ourselves a little bit of a marker here, because we're going to be drawing flower petals and we want to make sure we have even petals. So my flower petals are quite simple. I like to just come out like that and then come back in here. And feel free to add any questions or any comments. I will be reading them. So I might just not get to it right away, but I will be reading everything and helping you guys if you're struggling with anything. So again, with petals, I don't like to go in one direction. I do like to stop and start again. And the trick to any good henna design is that you always need to have some focal point of a design. So mine will be this flower. Everything will base off of the flower. It will get smaller here and smaller here till it's like a little belt we're working on. So go ahead and just finish your flower off. That's going to be the base of your design. And see, the benefit of going in steps is that now we know we have room for exactly two. If I went only in one direction, it becomes a bit harder to match that. And then your one petal can be very small, one can be very big. And then you want to go ahead and do your shading. So shading is just by kind of scratching it out. And if you're doing this on paper, it's going to be harder. On people's skin, it's so much easier to do this shading. So don't feel bad if it's messy. I still struggle to do it on paper. I feel like I'm just scratching something. And I hate the sound it makes either, too. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and outline just the top. We don't want to go too much into the flower, because we want to just focus on outlining just the crown. So I call this the crown, and this is what you want your eye to go towards. And remember, this is what's going to become even darker when the henna leaves a stain, right? Because those that are bolder elements are going to leave a darker stain. All right, so we're done our basic flower that is right in the middle. I know it's quite bold. I just want to make sure that it's something that everyone can do. So what we're going to do next is we're going to finish off here, and then we're going to move towards the finger. And I'm going to try to do a belt towards this finger, the ring finger right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a swirl coming outwards. We've already practiced this once. Just feel free to stop here if you're struggling and keep practicing on a piece of paper and then coming back. So I'm just doing 3 swirls, one here. It's like a little tower. This is just a good filler element just to make it easier and not have too many flowers all coming at you at once. And I'm gonna have one more here. And what I'm gonna do over here is I'm actually gonna make a rose. Now, the way to do a rose actually is by controlling pressure, but I'm gonna show you an easier method. An easier method is to just go ahead and draw your line. So it starts out with just a line like that, and then you just double it into creating your petals. So here I can just maybe have 2 petals, but then you can always go above and create more. So I'm not gonna do too many. And this isn't an actual rose. It's just a very like henna style rose that we do. So alternatively, you could play with pressure and make it thicker in the middle and thinner on the edges, but I'm just showing you an easier method, which is to draw the shape and then color in. Maybe let's just do one more here. It looks a little empty, but again, your hands are going to be different than mine. So just feel free to tweak it and just go with your judgment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do something that I love. This is like my most favorite thing to draw in henna is a swirl. that extends outwards. And I'm gonna go on this direction, and it's a little bit more fatter here in the opening, just like that. And now inside the swirl, I do a dot, and I usually pull out a line here, and I do a leaf here. So to do a leaf, I always start with just a line. And then you can go ahead and draw a big dot and come pull upwards, keep pulling upwards and straight out at the same time. And you can create a leaf right like that. Then you can also go around. Before going around, feel free to thicken the top of the swirl right here. This is, again, the crown, just like we did over here with the flowers. This is the crown of the swirl right here. And I'm gonna go around again. Again, I'm draping my lines, and that's what causes me to be neater here. You need to lift your cone slightly above the paper. Then over here, I'm just gonna, again, create my leaf. And I usually always tend to go outwards a little bit. I think it just looks better because then you can always go and create a smaller leaf here if you need to, that doesn't really connect to any line, but always start by sort of twisting outwards. It just looks nice. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom by just adding more leaves. And that sort of like frames the design at the bottom. Try to have like 3 or 4, however big you've drawn the swirl, you can match it out. So again, to do the leaves, you just start with a dot and then you keep pulling upwards and outwards at the same time. You can also add dots in your design if you want, in any empty spaces. It's completely up to you. I'm just gonna do one more here. All right. So now we're gonna move here and we're gonna get into this finger. So over here, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do a flower that will first start again with the circle. This is like the critical part. And you don't have to do the swirl this time. You can leave it empty. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna thicken this up and we're gonna draw scallops all the way around. I don't usually start from the end. I always start from the middle and then I just go onto both sides. Again, I don't know why, but that just helps me be a little neater. And then on the other side. And then what we do is we create little semicircles for the petals. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now. Before we do anything, just draw out your semicircles and then you can go ahead and thicken just the top. Again, this is the crown. Just remember that word and your henna designs will be nicer because you always want to emphasize the top of the petal, the top of the swirl, the top of anything really, just to add a little bit more of a focus to that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to double this to make it like a double petal, and that just takes up a little bit more space and it adds slight more boldness to it. And if you don't like the empty space there, feel free to go and do the swirl in it as well. Again, I'm just going to thicken the top. If you are struggling with pressure, like we did with the rose where we doubled the line, go ahead and do that for here as well. Okay. So we have a base and it is going towards this finger, but there's a lot more empty spaces. So what do? We fill in the spaces by doing smaller elements like the swirls. We can do roses, we can do more leaves. We can even just do a little circle with the scallop. So what I'm gonna do is right on this corner, I'm just gonna do a circle with the swirl inside and some scallops. And then I'm gonna add dots on top of the scallops here. Okay, and then we're gonna go on this side and we're gonna do another circle. And this time I'm going to do another rose here, but I'm going to do it the method I like, which is going to be thickening it up manually. Feel free if you want to just double the petals and color in if that's easier for you. So the way I do it is I just take out a little line and then I thicken it and I pull outwards. And you can control the pressure that way. I realized I never went over how to hold a cone, but basically you hold your one finger on top, your other three are resting below, and your thumb is what controls the pressure. So you're holding the cone like this, and it's sort of like you're holding a paintbrush, so you're not adding much pressure. When I'm doing scallops, for example, I barely move my thumb, but other times, like when I'm controlling the rose, I need to take out some pressure, so my thumb is what controls that. So it's like a resting motion like this. I hope that has cleared it if you guys were wondering, but no worries, you can watch this again and hopefully better this time. All right, so I'm gonna go back on top and I'm just going to add another circle here. And then I'm gonna take out another flower, but I'm gonna do a very small one here. So before doing that, let's just go and fill a little bit more. We don't want to be like making too much design here. We want to narrow it down. So we might need to do a smaller one and just adjust that, like just get an idea of where your design is going so you know that you don't want to spread it out into the whole hand. And I'm just going to do another flower petal. And we are going to fill that space up. So now here we have a little bit more space. So what I want you to do, and you want to do this a bit small, if you can, is to take out a small swirl going upwards. You might not have that much space to thicken it up. I'm just going to do another dot here, and I'll do a small little leaf. And then I am going to again do a few leaves here. And this will basically just seal my design because I don't want to go more here. So this will help me seal it. But when I'm doing the leaves, I do want to not do too big, right? And you want to sort of go in both directions so you can help seal it. And maybe I'll do a small one here that just sticks out from here and comes up like that. You can do another small one here if you want, or you can do a dot and pull backwards. All right, so we're gonna go back up here into this finger. And I am gonna do a small scallop flower here that has no petals. And again, if you missed this in the beginning, I'm just gonna say that I know some of you will be struggling using store-bought cones. When I started doing henna, I remember I used to use the store-bought cones and it's just the consistency is not right. So don't feel bad if it's hard for you. It could be because of that. So try buying natural henna that people make at home and see how you get along with it. Because a lot of people, they actually find it easier with natural henna. Then we're just gonna do one more here and we wanna keep getting smaller and smaller if you guys notice that. So I'm gonna get smaller by just doing a small rose here. And next, what we're gonna do is we are gonna take out a swirl. So now over here, I've come in this direction. So now I wanna go in the opposite direction. And I'm gonna do that by coming out from here. And then going all the way around. just like that. Making this one even longer. Again, the same things that we're doing, we're just filling up some repetitive patterns, but it's gonna look beautiful. The next design that I wanna do with you guys is gonna be more of a finger design. So go ahead and if you need to, just fill up empty spaces with some more rose petals. That's the benefit of doing roses, that you can just tweak it and make it bigger if you need to. You can also pretend you come out from over here and draw a leaf in this direction. Just like that. All right, so I'm just gonna do a very basic finger here so we can spend half an hour on the other design as well. So now I know that over here, I feel like this is a little bit empty here too. So you can do something here. You can take out a little circle. Let's just leave that empty. We'll come back to it. Let's finish the pinky first. So what I'm gonna do over here on the pinky is I'm just gonna start by drawing a line. Again, it's easier to drape a line. So touch it and come out. I'm gonna do that again over here. So you wanna touch it and pull out so your cone is sort of lifting on the paper. And I wanna do 3 more of them. So these 2 next lines are gonna be close together. And the reason for that is because I wanna make that a thicker line. So it's easier when you, you draw 2 lines and then you just go ahead and you color in like that. And this first line, I'm gonna do small dots on it. And now I'm gonna take out some scallops over here. So again, the same thing we've done on the circle, but we're gonna do it over here now. And I know this is a bit of a fast design. So usually when I'm teaching kids, I go through every single basic, but I don't have enough time to do that with you guys. So I am trying my best to cover whatever I can. Now on the pinky, normally we don't do too much of a heavy design. So I'm just gonna leave here with a leaf, and you can do 3 leaves, you can do 5 leaves. So 1 big, and then you keep going small. And you can draw the lines first before doing the leaves. So I'm gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna come to this finger. So again, over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just do the dotted line first. And then we're gonna draw 3 more lines. And over here, I am gonna do a small little flower, this type. So I'm gonna start on the corner here. And then I'm just gonna draw my scallops. And I'm gonna draw, you can either draw a flower like that, or you can just draw like a little scallop thing, whatever you're more comfortable with. So I think I'm just gonna draw this, and I'm gonna draw dots on it, because I wanna make my emphasis on this finger. There's just something about making a belt on the ring finger and coming out from the index finger a little bit. I like the combination of those 2, so I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna come out. But feel free to like change it up. Like you don't have to obviously copy me. You can do whatever you guys want. I'm just here to give you a little bit of a step-by-step inspiration if you guys want to do your henna next weekend, and you can do that for your Eid. You can see how it's already coming together. And feel free to make it even more intricate by making this smaller, adding more circles, adding more elements to it. This is just for a complete beginner. Because I'm sure if you guys practice this, you know, during this week, you'll be able to do this for Eid. My students are amazing. Like I have girls who start with me from 7 years old, even 6 years old. And within just, you know, even a few days, like a few weeks, a few days, they practice and they become so good. And now they're doing, like some of my girls are doing bridal designs with me, which is insane. So if children can do it, you all can do it. You just need to keep practicing. It's just a matter of practicing. I promise you don't need to be artistic. It's quite repetitive, as you can see. And just feel yourself enjoy the process when you're actually doing this. It's not just about the design, right? Like I love the way it feels to just take out the henna from the cone and let it touch the paper or skin, the way it feels. And you're also creating a therapeutic experience for the person that you're doing it on. So it isn't just about just doing it for the design, right? You're creating that experience. If you're doing it on your mom's, if you're doing it on your sister or your daughters even, just create that experience and it's like a spa day, you know, like you get your nails done, you get your face masks, get your henna done. It's just a therapeutic experience. And that's honestly my aim. Like I really want to make it, you know, more than just doing it on weddings. I'm just going to take out another small flower here where it's just going to be a scallop. And I'm going to take out some dots. I find that for dots to be neater, keep your henna cone like straight like that. And then just go ahead and add leaves. You want to be careful because we have a leaf there. Okay, so I've done this much. And you know, you can also add like 2 smaller leaves. So I normally, when I'm doing it, I like to take out on these 2 fingers, I like to do 5 leaves. So I'll do like 2 smaller leaves like over here. Just like that. And now we're gonna just get to the thumb. I'm gonna have to flip this over just so I don't run my henna design onto like, yeah, you get my point. So we're gonna come over here and we are going to do another, you can change it up a little bit if you want, or you can just stick to, we're just keeping it simple here. The next design we're doing is gonna be a finger design. So we're gonna have different fingers, but we're gonna stick to the one on the pinky here. This one is just a belt that is quite simple. The next design I'm really excited for because I think finger designs can be so elegant. Okay. So this is the design that we have done today for the very first design that we're going to do. We're going to do one more. And I would love to see your work, by the way. If you guys do try this out, even throughout the week or on the weekend, do tag me on the at the Henna Gateway on Instagram, and I will repost your work. I would love to see your work. So we're just going to get another hand template out. I've already had one. You guys can pause and get another one if you need. But the next design we're going to do is going to be a finger design. And in this design, we're going to start with this finger over here again. So it's like both my designs go on here, but this is more focused on the fingers. So actually, you know what? Let's start over here this time, the index finger. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a line right at the end of the finger. And then we're going to create some more lines around it just to give it, you know, some more space. So maybe add like 2 more on this side. And you want to make this one thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and just double it. And do that. Practice your lines on an empty piece of paper before you do this. It will really help you. So then I'm going to add scallops on the end one here. Okay, and I'm going to end this with 2 small roses. So we're going to take out a circle here. And we're going to take out another circle. First, we're going to just do little petals. We're just going to go around it like this. You can just do 3 if you need. And we're going to take out another circle here. And then go around like that. And then what I'm going to do, and you can even just add a little bit more if you need to on one side. Then I'm going to take out my 3 leaves right here. So 1 in the middle. Just like that. We've already done this. And maybe even just adding a little dot right there. Okay. Then we're going to come and do a little bit of a netting pattern here. But before we do that, we want to first guide ourselves where we're going to stop. So I'm going to just add a few lines right close to the top just to remind myself that this is where I want to stop the net or the grid, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to make this a thick line. I'm going to add 1 more thin line on that side and then 2 more on this side just to match it up. Followed by, I'm just going to do like a line here with dots again. I love doing this. You don't have to. It's like a little ring for me, which I really like. And over here in this empty space, we're going to be doing a net. So my trick to doing nets again is to practice your lines. You really want to be able to do your lines nicely. So do it on a piece of paper and just touch, lift, touch again. So you don't want to be lifting that high, but just slightly. Oops, my bad. So we're just going to go ahead and start from one corner and go diagonal. I'm going to make this a simple grid. We're just going to take lines to one direction and then to the other direction into like forming little diamonds. Okay, now my trick over here is to first lightly give yourself a diamond like that by just tracing it very lightly. So now you know that your henna cone, your henna line should go in this direction. I've done it in the past where I don't do this and then I end up getting really weird shapes over here. It doesn't end up being as nice. We have a nice grid there and we're gonna just any intersection, we're gonna keep a dot on. Can even do one here pretending. I really wish I was there in person with you guys so I could help you, hold the henna cone if you had any struggles. But for now, we're gonna just try our best. And if you have any questions, any advice you want, even in the future, you guys can always message me on Instagram. I love helping you guys in whatever way I can. So we're gonna go on to this finger now, the second one here. And we are gonna just start with a line here, giving a bit of space here. And I'm gonna add scallops on this line. Okay, now I'm gonna add roses again, but maybe let's try doing 2 roses, if not doing 3. So we wanna do very small ones. Just try your best. If you lift your cone on top of the paper a little bit, it'll help you control your consistency so you don't end up doing it too thick. I'm using a 0.5 pin cone, so it's nothing too intricate. Like I even have cones that are even more thinner tips, but this time it's just, so I think this is like the most standard size that you can find. The henna artists usually sell. I'm just gonna add 2 leaves here coming outwards. I don't have space for a third one. And I'm gonna do some more lines on this side. like that. And I'm gonna add scallops to this side again. And doing roses on this side again. And on here, maybe I'm gonna do 3 leaves because I'll have space. Okay, so we have our 2 fingers done. We're gonna work on the third now. So I'm gonna again create a line here, and it's a little bit less space this time because we just wanna add scallops here. And I'm gonna add 2 little leaves here. Again, we're just repeating the design. Keep wiping your tip of your henna cone because it does get a little bit dirty sometimes. And then it'll stop you from, doing a nice job. So just keep wiping it. I always do. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of space here, and I'm gonna start over here where I'm gonna draw another scallops coming out this way. Some more lines. Now on an actual hand, this part will actually be the finger will be fine. Here it's just paper, so don't worry, just keep going. This is the finger that we're going to be extending, so you want this to be longer, and it's okay if it doesn't, have that line on paper. I've just traced my hand here, so it's harder. So we're just going to draw the scallops on this side again. So you can see how I've told you scallops are so crucial to learn. So once you know how to do that, everything becomes easier. So we're going to finish this part, and then we're going to move on and extend this finger because this is a finger only design, but we're going to have something going until here. So over here, what I want to do is I want to create a straight line, and we want to do 2 straight lines like that. And now I'm going to be taking out leaves coming upwards and upwards on both sides. So here again, you want to first create little stems and then add a dot and come upward into a diagonal motion. You don't want to go completely straight out. You want to come upwards. You won't be able to do too many because it is a small spot. So just do what you can. Okay. Now, if you do have space, what you can also do is just add an extra line on both sides and then just do small dots. Like that. And then we're going to go on this side. So we're going to start by just doing a circle with some scallops. Like that. And then I am going to take out another circle, and we're going to do a little bit of a different flower here that we have learned, but it's really similar to one that we've already learned. So I'm going to take out scallops again. I know it's repetitive. I'm sorry. In the beginning, when I started teaching my kids, they used to hate the scallops because it's not easy. But then I remember within a very short time, they just progress like crazy. And once they progress, like once you master the scallops, everything becomes easier. And you can do more intricate designs as well. Because this is a very common filler element in bridal designs as well. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and now create petals that are like that. But this time we're actually gonna fill them in. So we're gonna color it in. Pretend you're actually just coloring with a paintbrush, right? It's just like that. A henna is like a paintbrush, I feel, when you're holding it. Treat it that delicately and you will have good results. So like I said, try getting natural henna cones. It will really help your neatness. And I'm gonna go again around it. And this one, I'm gonna just thicken up over here like that. Just add your pressure, or you can do it the other method where you draw the line and then just double it and fill it in. Okay, so I have, this is the main focal point here, and then we're gonna come out again with one more flower. And here we're gonna do again the scallops, and then we're gonna do another petal. I did want to show you how to do a design that isn't floral, but then I realized that my style is very floral. So I really struggle with designs that don't have flowers, at least one type of flower. Sorry, this petal, I was too fast. This petal I call a tooth petal. So you can see it's like little rectangles or squares or whatever. Depends on the way you create them. Mine are like little rectangles. So think of like a tooth. Just draw that. And now you can just add little leaves in the middle. You can add, and then we're gonna end with a swirl here. So let's just go and do that first. So come out over here and create a swirl that's a little bit more fatter at the top, like that. Then you wanna go ahead and add a leaf inside. Maybe add a dot with a line and add 2 more leaves on the side here. Go ahead and play with this. It doesn't have to be exact. And I usually, again, I thicken the swirl up from the top. And I'm going to just come around. And come towards the side. And you can even create like a little dotted line here. So start with a little thin dot, then keep going a little thicker till you get to the middle and come back out like that. You can even make this longer if you wish. Now we're gonna just add some extra leaves. So I am going to also be answering any, so there's no current chat, no worries. I hope you guys are all just focused on doing your henna design. So we're gonna go and just add a few leaves over here. If you have any questions, I'm gonna be answering them soon. So please go ahead and leave them. I can go over any element that anyone is struggling with or wants to know about on a blank piece of paper. I'll just go over it. Okay. So that is the finger design here. And now we're gonna do the pinky and the thumb. So for the pinky, I want to keep it simple, and I'm going to do a pattern like this. Now, here's my rule of thumb. I normally always have something that's similar in alternating fingers. So for example, if I were to follow the alternating finger of this one, I know I want to do a rose in my pinky. I don't want to do flowers like this. Otherwise, the design just kind of looks off. So there needs to be some sort of a rose here, and there needs to be, well, it doesn't need to be, but I want to do a bit of a grid here as well. So I'm going to start by just doing the grid. So let's just go ahead and do the line. We're going to have a smaller grid here. It won't be too much because the pinky is just smaller. Maybe even just having one line, thin line, thick line, thin line, not doing two like how we've done over here. Okay. And then I'm just going to, very little, I just want to do a little bit here. Like that. And again, we're going to do a thick line. And a thin line. And my apologies, I said that we'll have space, but we don't. It's fine, we can just adapt the design. That's what we do a lot, right? So instead of doing a rose, maybe let's just do 3 leaves here that are small. And it depends like on how long fingers you have. Maybe you've done this flower shorter than me. So you just have to adapt the design according to your own, the way it's gone for you, basically. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm gonna do the thumb. And again, I'm gonna have to just flip this over just so I can work with it. And for the thumb, I'm gonna keep it as simple as I've done in the other design, but we can also do leaves on top. So let's start by, you can even do a little bit of a ring here. So just adding maybe a line over here, right? So you don't have to do the exact same thing that we've done. So a ring that I normally like to do goes like this. So you have a line like that, and then you have a cross, and then you can go ahead and add your leaves on both sides. Okay. And then you can do the same thing on this side, elongating it to the end. You can stop there, or you can also just create a little dot and then pull outwards. Create a little dot, pull outwards, and do that on all sides, and then you have a little ring like that. And you can go ahead and just add another dot like that. So your thumb can be simple, or you can go ahead and even do like a little line design like this, or how we've done over here, something like that one, right? So you can go ahead and do it according to you. So here is the second design that we have done today. It's going to be a finger design, and we still have 10 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a very, very simple mandala with you guys. If you want to do a mandala, you can, and then you can create just simple fingers. Again, the fingers can be just like that. It can be very simple, but the mandala can be done right in the middle. So I'm just going to take an empty piece of paper. Sorry for that loud noise. I just dropped my phone. So I just got an empty paper right here, and we are going to just draw. You can draw a diamond in the middle, or you can draw a circle. It's your choice. I'm going to start. So my normal mandala is a diamond, but I am going to, yeah, you know what? Let's do a diamond. I like to do a diamond mandala. It's a little bit different. So we start like that, and I'm going to go a little faster here because I have 10 minutes. There's no chat, so that's good. I can get through this. So again, double the lines and then you can color in. Okay, and then we can go ahead and outline. And then draw our scallops around. I'm just gonna do a bit of a thicker scallops just so I can get through this quicker. So again, if you try this design out, please do tag me on my Instagram, message me. I would love to see it. Please message me. I love seeing your work. And I can always give you feedback as well if you try a different design, like try tweaking it a bit. So we're just gonna go ahead and draw a circle like here. And then draw our scallops. And this is gonna be a simple mandala. So we're just gonna have scallop flowers, no other petals. So we're gonna start at the corners. You can also make this diamond a little bit longer, so thinner, like longer. It depends on the hand, really. Some people have shorter hands, which you would do this on. If they have a longer hand, then you would need to make this longer. Go ahead and do that. Swirl and just scallops. So I'm going to stop talking because now we're literally just going to be doing scallops all the way around and then adding leaves. But this is a simple mandala that, you know, looks intimidating at first, but it really isn't. Just like any henna design, I feel like once you kind of break it down, it becomes so much better. And I hope you guys have enjoyed today. If you did, let me know. You can write your comments and hopefully I'll be able to see them after. One like that. And then you can just, maybe you can fit like around 2 more in here, depending on how small you do it. So I'm just gonna, it's not gonna be the best, but that. And then 1 more here. And now what you can do is do the same thing on the opposite side, and any space you have between can have little leaves, and the tips will have like 5 leaves instead of 3. So you can just do leaves here, and you can even go ahead and just create a dot on the top of each of them. And leaves here. I'm only doing half, so I can get through if I have time. The good thing about a mandala is that you can actually even like tweak it up. So you can do different flowers in it, and you can have like a little bracelet look. If you need, there's a picture on my Instagram that has this type of mandala on it. And then I've created a little bracelet on the finger. So go ahead and check that out. You'll see it. I'm sure you'll spot it very quickly. You want to just do the same thing on that side. The thing about mandalas is that it might not be the easiest for beginners because it's a lot of scallops close together. And I know you guys might struggle with scallops at first, but just keep practicing. And if you have done henna before and would like to do a simple mandala for Eid this time, you can do this. So I would suggest to make the diamond a little bit bigger in the middle, just so that it can look nicer. And you don't even have to do these many leaves if you don't want to. I just like my leaves. All right, there we go. So we have a mandala. Then we have another henna design that we have done over here. And then the last one was this one. This was the first one. So those were our 3 designs for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna turn on my video again. Thank you so much for joining me in today's henna along. I hope you guys had fun. Once again, if you would like any feedback on your designs, please do message me, even if it's something different that you want to try out for Eid. I always suggest one tip to getting your henna designs nice on your hand is first trace your hand on paper like I did over here. And then I want you to first draw with the thin tip marker, so like a Sharpie will do well, or a pen. And I want you to draw the design first, because you'll notice when you are copying a design off the internet, everyone has different hands, right? So when you're trying to tailor the elements, you will notice that some things will not look nice on your hand, or some things won't fit. And if you do it directly on your own hand, then it stains, right? Then you can't take it off. So it's better to make the mistakes on paper first, tweak it up, change your designs. Like you might even want to add a little bit of your own touch to it, right? I know everyone has an inner artistic ability, right? And you just need to challenge yourself sometimes to just get started. So I know there is an inner henna artist inside all of you guys, and I can't wait to see some of your work as well. So just try it out on paper and then go ahead and copy it on your hands. Again, I do recommend buying natural henna cones for Eid, so you still have time for Eid. Order your henna cones. The thing about chemical henna that I do want to just mention very quickly before we end this live is that chemical henna is the henna that you can buy in stores. Now, those henna have a lot of chemicals that are added inside for the color to come instantly. Natural henna is not even shelf stable. So you can't just take natural henna and just leave it on outside. You have to put it back into the freezer, because it is very forgot the word for it, but it doesn't last that long because it has no preservatives in it. So if you are using chemical henna, please note that sometimes what might happen is that your henna can even peel off and fade. So you want to be careful that you're not using the bad kind of henna for your skin, because it can also leave scars on you. So be safe this Eid, not just because of COVID, but because henna can impact your skin in the long run if you're using the bad kind of chemical henna. So do order your natural henna cones from anyone. If you're in America, search up on Instagram. There's so many artists who sell henna cones online. If you're in the UK, you can message me and I'll get you guys sorted. And in Toronto as well, there's so many, or in any part of Canada, there are so many henna artists out there. So I wish you guys all the best in your henna journey, whether you're just starting out or you're continuing in. And I would love to see your progress. And yeah, so my Instagram is going to be tagged in the description, but it's basically the Henna Gateway. You guys can probably have saw it already on the paper, but it's just the Henna Gateway. And my name is Sana, and it was lovely meeting you all virtually. Well, not really, but it was lovely to be able to do this henna service with you guys. And inshallah, I will see you guys in another future event. Khudafis, everyone.